dedicated to remarkable women. So very often time we do not see and we do not give praise to the women in our lives. And I'm happy that you did this because I think women has got so much to offer. Women has got so much to offer.
Yeah.
And you're nodding. You want to say something?
Well, when you say that, the first sentence in the book says, "Women lead from the front." At least that's what I saw. So I cannot not have this book dedicated to the women who have shaped my life. You know, my grandmother, my mother, my aunts, and all the women who have, done their part and make it possible for who I am today.
Backpacking. Talk a little bit about the backpacking.
The backpacking was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. Unfortunately, COVID-19 happened while I was in Colombia. And so what initially the plan was really to do Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and all of that. I was in Colombia for almost a year. 9 of those months being stuck in an apartment because of COVID-19. But the other 3 months where I actually got to backpack, they were just really just amazing moments because what happened, although I left Guyana to solo backpack, I never really was alone. I joined a platform called Workaway that allows other backpackers to connect. And so I was connected to other backpackers even before I got to Colombia. The night I got to Colombia, one of the other backpackers I was connected to, she said, "Hey, I'm in Colombia. Where are you staying? Let's meet up. Let's, because she was there for about 5 months. And she was my tour guide and just taking me around. By the time then, her Spanish had gotten really good, and she's just like, when you want to pass through the crowds, just, disculpame. And I'm like, okay, disculpame. So I was never really alone with the backpacking. And then I started teaching English in Colombia. I was teaching English in Colombia. And there were other backpackers who were doing the same thing from France, from the US, from Canada, all over the world. So I was never really alone. And it was having that immersive Colombian experience and having the little Latina in me come out, but also getting to share my Guyanese culture with the other backpackers who were teaching English. And I remember one night I was in the kitchen and one of the guys from France, he came into the kitchen. He said, "Daniella, when you're speaking with your family in Guyana, what language do you speak?" And this other teacher joined and she's like, "Yeah, when you speak to your family in Guyana, it's like you speak something else. I don't know what you're saying, but it just has a rhythm to it. It just has a rhythm to it." And that, I'm like, I don't know, my Guyanese
Do you
Creole.
have any Creole inside here?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's see.
Absolutely.
Let's hear.
I just opened to 7. And it's where my grandmother's rod of correction could be a plastic hair comb, hairbrush, wooden ruler, metal spoon, a twig from a fruit tree, or whatever object was within her reach. If ever I decided to run, her response was daring. "Give God your soul and give me your behind when I catch you." I think there's also a part when Mommy used to run behind me to beat me and I would run away and she said, "Hag Benaski, Mama will make your mouth so long." He said, "Picnic, you are come."
Time go come.
Yes, your time good, yeah. It's all in here, so yes, definitely some Guyanese Creole.
I like the phrase that you keep repeating. You're never alone. Which brings me to the sub title here. Walking in purpose, trusting divine timing. Let's concentrate on that a bit.
You know what? This subtitle, like I said, this book, all of this was happening before the book. It was happening before I knew it would happen. There were moments that I could not and I did not understand.
You see, Fagya?
I could not understand. Like, okay, for example, I talk about failure here. In the moment when it's happening, it just feel like your world crumbling. You don't feel like, you know what, I'm going to come out on the other side. I'm going to come out of this stronger. There's some purpose to this. You don't want to hear all those things. You just heartbroken. You just crushed that. You know what? The plans that I had, they ain't happening how I thought it would happen. And especially the year I did not graduate university. That year really, really crushed me, and I couldn't understand it then because I'd given it my best, and my best at the time was not good enough. And even when I had to retake the course, there were so many emotions that I felt. For one, I was embarrassed. I was like, yeah, I was hurt. I wanted to graduate with my colleagues. The plan was a 4-year timeline. And here I was having to go another year. And in fact, I did not. My pride was so much. The emotions were so much. I was like, you know what?
I thought you were bigger than that.
Well, I wish I was. So I didn't go back the following year. And it took an entire next year for me to say, you know what, Daniella, you have to complete what you started. This is where the chapter, checkpoint, failure, destination, success, a lot of it is in that chapter. That failure wasn't the end. It was just a checkpoint in the journey. I'm happy that I went back and I completed it, and I've reaped the rewards, but at the time it didn't feel like that, Walking in purpose, trusting divine time. And again, I'm happy that I'm at a place now where I know that I'm exactly where I need to be. Right? And what's to be will be, right? So this book, I believe, is divine assignment. And from the time it has been published, I went to restock the book the other day. And when the woman checked the inventory, she said, "We don't have any more copies of your book. They're all sold out so quickly." And I said, well, yeah, divine assignment, because that's how I genuinely feel about the book. Walking in purpose, trusting divine timing. Everything happened when it was supposed to happen. The things that I thought should have happened, some of them did not happen, but it's not up to me. I say that I wrote the book, but there's a bigger author than...
Trust the universe.
Right. Right. There's a bigger author who does the final writing. So yeah. Walking in purpose, trusting divine timing.
High moments. I can imagine you at Times Square.
Yeah. That was just wow,
One of those wow moments.
One of those wow moments. I knew it was going to be on the screen. It was happening at a certain time of every hour. And so before I left the house, I could look on the live camera and I could see it showing up. And I'm like, oh wow, it's there, and so on. But when I got to Times Square and I'm standing in the middle, and all these ads are coming up on the big screen, and then mine comes up, or mine came up, my heart did a flick, a roll, a jump, like wow. This is
That's big.
this this is your idea in real life and in Times Square. Yeah, that was really a wow moment for me.
Another wow moment. Receiving the Guyana prize. Let's go to that moment.
So that moment, that moment, as I mentioned earlier, I'd submitted my manuscript
Yeah.
the year before. The book wasn't published as yet,
Yeah.
but I'd submitted the manuscript. And I was so hopeful, right? But then when I didn't get the prize, I felt crushed. I felt crushed. And so the next year when the book was published, a friend encouraged me to resubmit. And I said, okay, I'll resubmit. So when I saw the tags on Facebook and I checked and I saw that I was shortlisted again, I was like, oh, one, I'd forgotten that I resubmitted. And two, only a fool breaks his own heart. Right? I was like, okay, well, you know what? I was in a different space than I was the year before because the book was already published at the time and I was planning the launch. So I was like, okay, well, you know what? If I get the prize, I get the prize. And if I don't get the prize, I'll be okay. I already have my book, you know? I think the year before, when the book wasn't published, I think I wanted some validation from winning the prize that the book was good enough to exist. But last year, the book already existed. And I'm like, okay, well, if I get the prize, it's going to be a plus.
Yeah.
But, you know, the book is here. And so when I got the email, you know, I was shortlisted. Yeah, okay, nice. But when I got the email saying that I'd been awarded the prize, all the talks about, oh, if I get it, I get it. If me get it, me get it. It just went through something and I'm a crybaby, but I cried. I was like, oh my gosh, wow, like, thank you, God. And wow, yeah. So that was all. So because of what happened the year before, I was not as excited, but when it did happen, I was really, really grateful. Yeah.
Lots of hard work. An assertive woman who knew what she wanted.
Yeah.
Sensational moment.
So yeah, that was one of the big moments. And even the launch, I think, was a high moment for me because I got to do the book launch at the Humaniana.
That's right.
And that was a place I went to as a Hinterland scholarship student for important things.
Yeah.
So to take the book back there and to celebrate with everyone who'd been a part of the journey, that was also a really high moment of this journey for me.
Some influences into your writing. I mean, President's College, you've got to write. You've got to read a lot. What was your reading like?
You know what? We had a bookcase, you know, as children. My grandmother had a bookcase. And we read from since then. You were always picking a storybook, you know. Granny read to us until we could read for ourselves with the newspaper, the Sunday riddles. She would, you know, she'd y'all come hear this thing, come guess and see, you know. So my reading influence started very early as a child. And it went from there. I think that's where my interest started. I was always picking up book. Of course, once I got into my teen, I was looking for the romance novels. And then I grew out of those. And then it was just other writing, other literature. And so President's College. I think President's College had a lot to do with my looking for those Danielle Steele novels and yeah, but my reading influence started as a child. My grandmother encouraged reading a lot.